Hello, Tribers. Welcome back to the podcast where we magnify the process and impact of the youth in the world using their own stories. I am your homegirl, also known as Liz Awino, and thank you for joining us for another episode. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you found us. However, it says you found us. I am glad you are here. And if you're a returning tribe member, what's up? How are you doing? Today, we have an interesting and lovely guest. I feel like I say this all the time. And because basically the season is looking into 2026, and I feel like this episode will be more reflective than the others because this person does a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Probably a lot more than I do, to be quite honest, which is very interesting. So, my giant guest today is a basketball MVP, Giants of Africa content creator who sits at the intersection of sports, storytelling, and massive social impact. For those hearing about Goa for the first time, Giants of Africa is an organization founded 20 years ago by Masai Ujiri to educate and empower youth through basketball. The Giant is also the founder of Unscripted Victories and ambassador of Mara Sports. He is the face of content when you think of Kenyan basketball footprints and shaping dreams in Africa. Derick, welcome to the It Tribe. How are you?
Thank you so much for the intro, for the one of the best intros in a while. And thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor and I feel blessed. And again, thank you so much.
Do you know that Nigerian GIF, or yeah, it's a GIF, but it's this guy who was like an athlete and then he won. And then they asked him, and how do you feel? Then he was like, I feel so fulfilled. I'm happy because I never expected. Do you know it?
I actually saw it somewhere on TikTok, if I'm not wrong.
Just now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he trends all the time and you sounded like that. How does it feel when people actually introduce you like that?
I actually feel blessed and proud of myself most of the time because I know he said like I do everything. Content,
Literally.
basketball. And to be honest, it's a good feeling because you've been putting work, and at least people are appreciating of whatever I'm doing. So yeah, I feel like I just feel blessed and proud of myself.
I like that you said you've been putting in the work. And guys, this episode, like all the other episodes, are always going to feel like an inside conversation. And I have brought to you guys someone that actually understands what grind means. But yeah, how are you doing?
I'm okay, and this is actually the perfect time to have the call. I'm from practice, still feeling fresh. Training wasn't easy. Basketball training wasn't easy, but I'm feeling okay, and I'm so happy to like give all the energy that is left to just talk to you about myself, about my career, about basketball, about Giants of Africa, about unscripted victories. Anything you want to know about me, I'm so ready to share.
Did you just say anything?
Yes.
That's quite nice.
Anything in terms of basketball, storytelling, Giants of Africa. That is what I meant by anything.
I like how you, the moment you just heard me say anything, your brain was like, no,
Yes.
no, 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 run it back, run it back.
Run it back real quick.
Yeah. So the first segment that
Mhm.
we usually have is the book tribe. And do you read? I don't think I've ever seen you touch a book.
Um, I actually read the Bible once in a while. I don't know if that's a holy book, but that's the only book that maybe I read once in a while. But novels, storybooks, no, I don't read that much, to be honest. But all I can say, maybe just doing research online, but reading books, let me just be honest. No, I don't read books.
So, like, do you read articles, pieces, opinions, newspaper?
Newspapers, yes. Opinions, yes.
So, what's like something you've read recently that caught your eye in terms of opinions?
Oh, that is actually nice because I just read something from Nelson Mandela that was today in someone else's story. No, it's actually right here. Yeah, Nelson Mandela once said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." And this was actually a post from 10 of the most memorable quotes by African leaders. That was one. And then the second one I actually read was "A day will come when the history of Africa will be told, not as the Europeans and Americans wrote it, but the true and only history of Africa will be the one written by Africans." That was from Patrice Lumumba, former Prime Minister of DRC. Yeah, that is actually the only article I've actually read today.
I like the second one. I think, is it Lumumba or Patrick Lumumba? I'm not too sure. Patrice, yeah.
Patrice, yeah.
Yeah, Patrice. He has a very rich, I don't even know if there's a word that I could use to describe him, because he's just one of those people that I would really like to just sit down for like a day or two, like a week, and soak in everything he's done in terms of revolution and for his country. Because, and I don't want to speak too longly about it because I've not read anything about him. I just think he's just a symbol of something that I don't know how to describe. Like, it's just
Yeah.
out of this world. That's pretty cool. When was the last time you picked up a book?
Actually, it was yesterday, but I didn't read it. Yeah, I was at
Part of your New Year resolutions.
I think, I don't know, but I'm actually someone who loves history and revolution. So if maybe I come across like a book that has history in it about Africa, about anything in the world, I'll be very glad to like read or try to read it. But other than that, this year's resolution, I don't think I'm going to read more than 2 books.
You're quite ambitious. I like that.
Yeah, but at least I'm trying.
You're better than me. At least I have. Have I picked? No, I don't think I've picked up a book, like an actual. I really want to get into reading fiction because I read a lot of articles and just policy papers, and it's just a lot of real life. And I don't. So I'm trying to switch into the romantic side of reading that are not that serious. We're going to get into the episode now. Before we start with the actual questions, I want you to take us back to who you are and how did you get to the point where you are today. So basically, you take us all the way, all the way back to, hello guys, my name is this, I come from this place. Like, that is what we want. So let's get into it. Who is Derick Ochieng? Is it Dwayne Derick or Derick Dwayne Ochieng?
Derick Ochieng.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give the answer towards Dwayne, where it came from, because you said I have to like speak everything, so I'll just put it somewhere. It's not like my actual name, but I got it from somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, so my name's Derick Ochieng. On social media, it's Dwayne Derick. I'll just start with the Dwayne Derick. So Dwayne was one of my favorite players, basketball favorite players when I was growing up. And you know, when you're growing up and you're looking up to someone, you have to like copy everything he does, because he was like the only player I knew he was the best. And that is when actually I was getting into social media and everyone was calling their name like someone famous. You find someone is called Justin Bieber, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yo, let me just give a try for this name, because I didn't know one day I'll be like this big on social media. So I was like, let me just call myself this guy's name because he's my favorite player, Dwayne Wade. So I started calling myself Dwayne Derick. Until, I don't know, everything happened. My social media page grew and everyone actually knows like Dwayne Derick is my actual name, of which it's not. It's only because I used to watch this guy as one of my favorite players. Anyways, my real names are Derick Ochieng, from Nairobi, Kenya. Born and raised in Nairobi. Grew up in Huruma, hapo Mathare. I actually grew up in Huruma, and then when I was in class 5, I think I was around 10 years. There was a basketball camp around my community. These guys from the Detroit Pistons. So they hosted a basketball camp, and then actually my brother used to play, like my our second born, used to play basketball. And that day was like, yo, there's a basketball camp and these guys have like good stuff with them. You know, when there's a basketball camp, people will bring like shoes, they'll bring basketballs, they'll bring food, they'll have mental health classes. And it was like, this is a good platform for you to come and learn something. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm interested. I actually went there with a couple of my friends, like my childhood friends. And when I got on that event or that basketball program, there was so much to learn as a kid, actually. And that's why I actually got the interest of playing basketball. So since that day I went to that camp until now, I've just fell in love with basketball. So that's actually how I started basketball. And then high school, I went to Jamhuri High School in Form 1 to Form 4. And before I actually went to Form 1, there was a time I got a scholarship somewhere. And then when I was about to get recruited, something happened and then it was cancelled at the last minute. So it really made me, how will I say it? I won't say angry, but I was very super disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
And that disappointment made me grow stronger and I think smarter as well. And it really helped me actually, like the opportunity, because I feel like me missing that opportunity really opened doors after after years of me playing basketball. So that actually just made me stronger. I went to Form 1, Jamhuri High School, and then after high school, I got a scholarship to go to ZTech University, where I just played basketball and paid just school fees kidogo because of playing basketball. And then when I was in ZTech, I got an opportunity to go to play for Moi Airbase team, and that's where I got employed. Now, on content wise, I actually started creating content in 2016.
What?
Yes, I actually started creating content in 2016. And this was because actually when I was in high school, I used to watch so many videos as again, sports documentary videos. And there was this page, there's this page called Bolis Life. I used to watch so many clips of these kids like highlighting themselves, showing their lifestyle, what they're doing as basketball athletes when they were in high school. And I was very interested. Again, this is because I started basketball at a very young age. So I knew how it felt to like record yourself and put things out there like for people to watch. So after my high school, 2016, I just started recording like random stuff, even though it wasn't content like, it wasn't as big as now. So I used to
Mm-hmm.
record, save them in a hard drive. 2017, record everything, highlights, store them in a hard drive. 2018, 2019, until I left for the work I'm in right now for like an year. Then I came back, is when I realized like, wow, content is big, it's huge. And I was like, yeah, let me now start like making it more, like spending more time on doing the content now and playing basketball. And then in 2022, Giants of Africa actually gives opportunity to their alumni. They actually give grants. So since I was doing content, I was like, yeah, let me give it a try. Let me apply for these content grants. And after I applied, luckily, I was the winner. And again, I had the experience of doing content. I just
Mm-hmm.
needed a platform to like showcase my creativity, my passion. So GA came through. They were like, yeah, we're going to give you this opportunity. And you're one of our alumni. We've been seeing your work on social media, what you're doing. We're now going to help you with this, and that. They provided me with the equipments. And that was my start. That was 2022. And that's how I actually began now to making it bigger with the platform. And since then, it has just been growing, learning, growing, learning, growing, learning, growing, learning until now. That's why it opened doors. Through GOA, I came up with the unscripted victories. I started doing social media management skills. So with GA, they actually, the first year, they were teaching me like so many skills because these are guys who manage NBA accounts. They do NBA documentaries. So it was like I'm in school, but not in school. Any
Mm-hmm.
question you have, you ask them, they guide you. Anything they have to share with you, they give it to you. And I think it really helped me a lot. So I think that is actually, I grew my platform to this level.
For reference, guys, I started talking to Derek. When did we start talking? Was it when I came on the island? 24?
24, yeah, 2024.
Yeah. There's things that I'm also hearing them for the first time. So this is quite interesting. I think my next question would be, when you look at the social media content that you put out and the influence that Goa has had in terms of before 2022 and where you are now, what is the one distinction that you can say, this is the number one thing that I went in and I wanted to do and I did it simply because I'm backed up by Goa?
Yeah, so actually in 2022, after I got my grant, it was the same year, Giants of Africa was actually launching 3 basketball courts in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
And since they were actually coming to Kenya, I had an opportunity to create content, like short content with them. And that was around February, if I'm not wrong. I can't forget. That was in February. And then there was this edit I did, a 1-minute video actually. I posted it on TikTok and it went viral until someone sent to Masai a direct message about that clip. And on my platform, that TikTok video, it went viral actually. Even influential people were posting it on Twitter, and I'm not actually active on Twitter. I was getting screenshots from Twitter. I got some screenshots from Pulse Live Kenya. They posted it. I saw so many people posting it. It went viral until GA were like, we don't have a TikTok account. But this video has gone viral because we were launching a basketball court and they did this video.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, since you know how to handle TikTok, this video has gone viral. We want you to be in charge of TikTok. You're going to open an account, you're going to manage it, and you're going to be the face of TikTok, of GOA. And that is when I realized, like, wow, I think that was like a go ahead, like I'm good to go to now take this serious. And yeah, so I think that was the turning point. I felt like it's not doing content for pleasure anymore or for fun. I'm going to take it like more professional, and whatever I'm going to post and I'm going to edit, I'm going to do it with intentions, not just freestyle anymore. So I think that was the turning point. After that video, that one video went viral.
Okay, my next question would be,
Yes.
because I know these people that I'm going to listen to this podcast episode, be it now, be it 5 years from now, and they would like to understand, what does it mean to be a person that represents Goa, right? And before you get into that, I'd like to now go through the process or the mindset that you had before you applied for the grant. Because you said you had been taking content, right? You just were not posting it. And you saw an opportunity in 2022 for you to actually now be part of a grant or receive support for something that you're trying to get into and that you wanted to take seriously. I want to understand if it was intentional for you to pursue sports content creation the way you do it now, or it was just, I love basketball, let's just see where content takes me. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even before the grant, actually 2022, I had already grew my social media platform because I was posting like a lot of basketball stuff. And even before 2022, I really wanted to work for a different brand. Actually, I had 2 brands. There was one called Beyond Foundation. I actually was part of them in 2016. We even went to the late Sarah Obama's place just because of basketball. This guy actually approached me because of the content I was putting out there.
Mhm.
That was even before the grant. So this means I was actually doing content. My content was out there, but all I needed was just a platform to like, or a brand to just give me like an opportunity so that I can showcase like my skills more. So to be honest, by 2022, when I got the grant, I was very prepared. I was very ready, and I really prayed for that opportunity because I was like, if I get this opportunity, I had a plan for the whole year. I'll post this, I'll go to this place, I'll do this, I'll be making this, I'll do the UV, actually, the documentary thing, because I already had it in mind. But I was like, if I'm on my own, I don't know how I'm going to start it.
Mm-hmm.
So with GOA, it gave me so many people that I connected to and so many networks that helped me come up with the UV at a bigger stage. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, I do.
Because let's say, for example, if I didn't get the grant, there's so many people or audience that I could not be connected to. So from the grant, it has opened like so many routes. So many, not gonna lie, a lot.
Okay, so I want to talk about when it comes to content creation with Goa, right? There's obviously with any business or with any organization, there's certain content you're supposed to put out because Goa is like a big thing. I didn't think it was a big thing until I started like following you and following the stuff that you guys do. That's when I realized they have so much impact in communities, and they also
Yeah.
just have so much impact in terms of basketball and their reach.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to understand is, how do you merge your identity as Derick with the brand, or like with Goa as a brand? Because most of the time you find that if you start representing a brand, some people start to sound like a brand.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you stand out where you still produce content that reflects Goa, but still is Derick?
Yeah, so the thing I can say, first of all, like number one mission or goal of GOA, Giants of Africa, is to empower African youths through basketball and education. And I'm a basketball player, and if that's the mission for GOA, it applies on myself too. My mission is actually to inspire and empower more youths in the continent through basketball. So I think that's how I actually align with them.
So the
Yeah.
next question would be for the listeners, which is, Travers, what do you think is your biggest goal for 2026? If you had to commit to it for the next 20 years, just like how Goa is in the outreach that it has, what would it look like and how would you approach it? And I think actually we could also talk about this because there's a guy I talked to, his name is Uzoma Orji. We met at last year's Africa Media Festival, and he talks about the art of dreaming. And his mindset is that if you imagine your life like in the long term, you start to make decisions based on the long term and not the short term. And I think my question would be, when you imagine, let's say, your life in 20 years, or like actually, let's just say 20 years because of Goa, what does that look like? Because now you do sports content creation and you were part of the team that was doing Road to Ball last year. These are different opportunities that you get within the sports scene. And, or rather, but how does it tie to your long term vision for yourself?
Yeah, actually, to be honest, every day when I wake up, there is something new that comes in my head. And this has actually been happening since I started playing basketball. I'm always up to something. And something I actually thank God for is whatever I usually hope for and whatever I usually pray for, I make sure I achieve it. And just an example before I answer the question, before the camp in 2017, before I went to the GA camp, because GA has actually been there since 2014. Many people, many of my friends were actually going to the camp, and getting that opportunity was very hard. And in 2016, one of my closest friend went to the GA camp in 2017. He was an all-star. He won MVP. And on that same year, he went to the States for scholarship. And I was very, 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 very happy for him. And this was actually one of my goals And I prayed to God and I really worked hard towards it so that I can just get an opportunity to go to the GOA camp. And I started working hard and working towards the camp an year before because I knew if you go to the GOA camp, there's so much that will come to pass. You might get scholarships because they come with NBA scouts, college scouts, high school scouts to the camps. And if you're better, they'll give you an opportunity. They'll discover you, they'll reach out to you. And I started preparing like early. I only wanted to get to the GA camp. And if I get an opportunity to go to the GA camp to be selected, I'll make sure I get to the All-Star. And in 2017, luckily, my Coach Sly from Slums Duncan Madari, he was like, Derick, I feel like you deserve a spot to go to the GA camp. So we were only 3 in the academy. And I got selected. And once I knew I was selected, because the camp was in like 3 months, I started preparing like workouts. And I have these clips actually. My workouts towards going to the GA camp, to becoming an all-star. Now I actually achieved the selection.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing remaining was becoming an MVP in the camp. And I actually started working towards it 3 months before. And I knew we are going to have like players from all over the country, U19 kids, U19 campers. It wasn't easy, not gonna lie. We had 50 campers from Kenya, from Tanzania, and Uganda. And luckily, again, I went there confident enough and I made sure I was in the All-Star and I became an MVP. And that comes to now. 2026, I have so many goals and I'm pretty sure. I don't know when I'll achieve them. It's not tomorrow. It's not yesterday, but I know one day I'll achieve them.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing content and sports for quite some time now, maybe close to like, since I joined GOA, that's like 4 years to 3 years, 4 years since I got the grant. And I want to start shifting it because I've actually started creating some other networks from coaching, from people with big facilities outside the continent. And I feel like I'm going to give it a try. So one of my goals, I actually want to become a professional skills trainer for my African people. Because I feel like it's a space where it's not like it's not so many people are doing it.
Fair.
And I'm well connected or I know people who are doing it and I've seen their impact and what they do. So maybe soon I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to be a skills trainer, maybe in Africa or maybe in some other place. And the other thing I want to do is to have my own facility in the future as well. And another thing I'm trying to do is to just connect more African players with scouts outside the continent, with basketball scouts outside the continent, so that they can get opportunities to play in big schools, big universities. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way to connect my own African players who deserve like opportunities with international scouts. So those are some of my goals for this year.
Sometimes when I listen to people on this podcast, I always feel like I'm not doing anything significant in this life. Because what in the world? That is such, I am such a Pan-Africanist, like to my core. And I feel like when I hear people say that they want to just create opportunities for Africans, it makes me so happy because I feel like consistently you hear how Africa is so, like there's so much that happens in Africa, but there's not systems and there's no facilities and there's no, like there's just never anything to support people's initiatives. And that's why I really stand what Goa is doing, because I think using sports, especially in Africa, to connect kids and to connect the youth together towards one particular thing and towards greatness is such a good strategy. Because I was thinking about it and I was having this conversation with someone last year where I said, I don't think I've met anyone that has studied in a Kenyan school that has not played any sport. And it's not just playing where you go to PE and stuff. I mean like actual playing. And when it comes to that, because you said you want to get into is it skills training, right?
Yes, personal individual skills trainer.
I need you to help me understand what skills training means in terms of
Yes.
basketball.
Skills training basically means is actually developing players to their full potential, not as a team, but individual players to make them reach professional or just make them become better than other players individually.
So what does that entail? Like, let's imagine that you have built your brand and you are now a person that people want to look out for when it comes to skills training. What does a
Yes.
typical day look like for you if you're doing skills training?
Let's say, for example, we have the BAL games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have maybe like players coming to my own facility and I'll make sure they have the best facility, the best therapy, the best mental toughness, and the best skills before the game starts. So I'll basically be working on their weaknesses and making them become great. I don't know if you understand that. It's like being a coach, but not for a team, just an individual coach. You work with someone from becoming an amateur to a professional. And if you have a professional player, you make him become one of the best players on his team or on her team. So basically, it's just developing someone's skill to his or her full potential.
That's pretty cool. There's a guy called I think Kimathi something, Coach Kimathi. And he does playing for football. I think he was a football player in the US and then he came back and then he built an academy for football. So what he basically does is he helps coach kids and then tries to build them up so they can get into a position where they're scouted and they play for teams abroad. Just basically bridging the gap between the amount of kids that want to play football, know how to play football, and get into football leagues and football camps. Because I think one of the things that being immersed into the report that I did or the research that I did last year in the sports industry was I realized there is no facilities. Like when I say there's no facilities, like when I think now I'm going to the rugby sevens this weekend. And you'll find that obviously they've painted everything. Your stadium looks great, it looks funny, it looks good. But then on a normal day, when our players are supposed to play and when our players are supposed to train, because this is it's a world recognized game. There's people coming from different works of the country and just different places in the world. So they have to look good. But then why do we put in so much effort when we are supposed to be seen by other people, but not the same effort and the amount of energy when it comes to our players and they're playing? Because like, let's say the thing that you're talking about seems impossible. It's not impossible, but if you talk about it to someone in the sports industry, you'll sound like you're joking because everybody assumes that you need to get the bare minimum. Like you must work so hard, like 10 times hard to get literally the same thing that people get so freely in other countries. And I think from that particular conversation, I want us to talk about what you've seen because I know you traveled to Rwanda sometime last year for the Goa Festival. I want us to talk about like the experiences that you have, especially when you meet up with world players and just different people from different walks of life, and what our facilities, or rather the sports industry, in terms of basketball, because that is what you're aware of, what it lacks and what you think should be available that is not available. Because I feel like if people are struggling about something, and no one is saying that this is something that everybody struggles with, you feel like you're not getting opportunities because the problem is you, right? Because like, let's say with the scholarship that you did not get was probably, it had nothing to do with you. It just means that the systems just don't work for you, you know? So what experience do you have? What do you have to share about the people that you meet with? Because I think even last year you met and you were so happy about this. Who was the player that you met last year? I forgot his name.
I met actually Kawhi Leonard.
Exactly.
Kawhi Leonard and Ray Allen. Actually, Kawhi Leonard and Ray Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from conversations with them, what do you think is something that you have carried and something that people should actually know about, both in terms of the challenges you experienced and the opportunities you see from having conversations with them?
Actually, to be honest, I didn't have personal conversations with them, but I was actually part of the crew that was doing videos and getting content from these guys. Actually, Kawhi Leonard, I've never imagined I'll ever meet him or someone even close to him in my entire life. Until last year when I was like, wow, this is Kawhi Leonard, like I'm just facing him. I'm just here with him. It was actually not, it was kind of unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And that was him and also Ray Allen, actually, one of the greatest shooters of all time from the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys, first of all, they're very humble, very extra humble. You're like, is this the same guy I've been watching winning titles, playing against LeBron James, becoming NBA MVP? And the same guy is very humble. And the other thing these people talk about, or something I learned from them, is there's no shortcuts to life. They actually work really hard for them to be who they are. That is something I actually carried from them. They work really, really hard. We were actually in Rwanda. At this point, we were actually just having food. We were just eating. And just Kawhi Leonard passed across like the place where you're seated, going to work out, like to the gym. And I had to wake up from my seat, leave the food, and follow him. Because the gym was actually there. And I was with my guy Slouch. I told Slouch, like, I don't know if I saw him or if it's Kawhi. And I was like, let me just confirm if it's him. And then I was walking, I went to the gym and I found this guy sweating. Like he was working out in Rwanda. Like, I don't know if he was on vacation or he came for he came for the festival actually. To launch one of the basketball courts. He had partnered, I think, with GOA. And he was working out at that point. And someone told me like he has been working out every day since he arrived in Rwanda.
Mm-hmm.
And this was off season. So I was like, just imagine how committed this guy is on his work because he knows how much it takes to be him. So to be honest, something I've learned from these guys, they work really hard. So that's every time when I feel like, I don't know, not someone, but people say, how comes you're doing this? You're playing basketball, you're doing documentaries, you're doing GOA, you're the road to BAL. It's something I've seen how people are out there. People work hard to be someone. And I don't believe in just shortcuts, to be honest. Because even for me to go to the GOA, I had to work hard. For me to become an all-star, the GOA and MVP, I had to work hard for it. And I've seen the fruits. So even right now, I usually know like I just have to work hard. There's no shortcuts. And these guys actually they've shown me like it's possible through working hard and just being smart. And that was with the professional players. Now coming to my own reason why I went to the GOA was as a content creator and a content specialist. And I was with this crew of like, I don't know, close to like 20 people, professional 20 people just for content. These are guys from Canada, from States. And these people are very humble again and working very hard and working very smart. And I learned so much from them. So much from them. Like these people don't sleep. They record the whole day. They edit the whole night. They record the whole day. Like if it's time for work, it's time for work. And if you see the end results, it's awesome. That's why during the week of festival, we almost got more than 20K followers because of the content that was being put out there. People don't know the story behind it. And again, I'll just say this. People see like I was at the festival, hanging out, talking with Michael Blackson, spending time with Kawhi Leonard on my stories and everything. But behind the scenes, it wasn't that easy. And that's why I actually came up with my YouTube vlogs so that I can post everything behind the scenes. When you're waking up, when are we going back to our hotels? It was a hassle. You have to record the whole day. You have to edit again. Sometimes our work was easy because we used to record and give one of the editors, and he used to do an amazing job. Like everyone was locked in. So something I actually learned is people are very humble. Just be humble and work hard and just have good relation and network with people. So I think, yeah, that's some of the things I can say I can share right now.
I like that you said people would have assumed you were just out there chilling with different
Yeah, I'm with these
celebrities
guys.
and that's
Kiss Daniel. Yeah, behind the scenes, there's so much we're doing. There was a time even my knee had swell. I don't know, because I went there with my knee injury, and you have to record. You can't record while you're seated. So
Yeah.
I was just walking again with that swollen knee. I'm like, yeah, this is just something. I'll get over it. Yeah. So behind the scenes, there was so much to capture. So much. And big shout out to the whole content team. It was amazing. It was very, very, very interesting and amazing.
I think we're gonna dial down into the next segment, which is content with a conscience. And
Yes.
one of the things I like about, I think maybe this is probably now the influence of Goa, because I think when you work with such a huge organization, like you said, you're trained. And I want us to talk a little bit about the training that you got, and for the people that are listening that want to get into sports content creation, especially in a country like Kenya,
Huh?
what does that look like? Let's say I want to join sports content creation, but
Yes.
I'm not privileged in any way, right? I'm an ordinary,
Mhm.
average person, and I want to start with the knowledge that you have from Goa. What
Yeah.
exactly would you say, or how exactly would you tell a person to go about it in very practical ways? Don't not advice,
Um,
practical.
Practical way, first of all, I'll just say, first of all, if you want to start sports content, I actually believe it's something you're going to do because you're passionate. It's not just something you're going to do because someone is doing content. Derek is doing content, let me go and do content. I don't know if it works that way. I might be seeing my friend who is singing. I can try singing, but it won't work out. But if I'm passionate, I believe something will come out of it. So if you want to do sports content, just make sure you're passionate, because the results are not like instant thing. Like you just start today and the results are here. But if you're passionate, I believe you have the patience to start it and give it time until you become someone, or you get recognized, or you become just someone. Let me just use that word. And this is from my own experience.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, with GOA in 2022 to 2023, I was creating content as a volunteer. Yes, I got the grants, I got the equipments, but everything I was doing was through my own money, transport. And that time I was actually in Mombasa. So every weekend for a whole year, I used to travel from Mombasa to Nairobi to come create content. Every weekend,
What?
just imagine. I don't know how much I was spending. And
What?
again, this was because I was passionate, because I was in Mombasa for work. And every now and then content was flowing every time I used to come to Nairobi. There was always something happening, always something happening. So for a whole year, I was working as a volunteer. SGR day and night. Every Friday, Nairobi, Mombasa, Sunday, Monday, I have work, Friday for a whole year. And all this was because I was passionate. And I didn't know the end results until 2023. They were like, wow, whatever we've been putting out there, it's very amazing. And they're going to give you this opportunity. You're going to work for us. And this is how you're going to do this, and that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very happy. And when I was doing it as a volunteer, I didn't know anything is going to happen like in long term. So something I'll advise someone is, you just do something. If you want to start sports content, there's so many opportunities out there that I don't feel like they've been tapped. So many opportunities. You just come with your camera, become a sports management manager. There's so much that hasn't been tapped yet. But don't expect like anything to be just instant. I don't know. Maybe it can on your side, but what I can say is, you just be patient and do it because you're passionate. And another thing is, there's always someone watching. Whatever you do out there, someone is always watching.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's the power of social media. And again, I'm saying everything because of my experience. The one video that I took that went viral, someone watched it, shared it to the right people, and it went viral. So whatever someone you're going to do in the sports industry, and I'm going to talk about content, you just be creative, do it with passion. Someone is always watching. You never know who is watching. You might get that DM, you might get that email. So I'm not going to limit anyone, but just know it's a good field, and sports is growing day and night. Basketball sports is growing day and night. Right now, you have the All Star
And
happening
yeah.
in LA.
Yeah.
NBA All-Star happening in LA. I've seen so many African friends who have been invited there. So many. Not like a few years ago. A few years ago, it was only like NBA All-Star. It's in America. You just see all the content from American influencers, from American filmmakers, videographers. But right now, there's so many people I've seen and I know that are there from Africa, which is showing like the big impact of sports. So there's so many things that are happening, and it's never too late. You can start as soon as now, as soon as tomorrow, as soon as next week, as long as you just do it with passion. Yeah, that's all I can say.
So your advice is passion.
Yeah, you just do it with passion, and then the rest will follow.
Okay. So as we move into 2026, 2025 was such a year. What was your experience with 2025?
2025, I think I learned a lot from people, and I think I built a big network for my social media, and also but I actually grew a lot content wise, basketball wise, and yeah. So I think like it was actually one of my best years, to be honest.
Yeah, I think your outreach or your reach massively exploded last year.
Yes, yes.
Like massive. And I think that's really great. One of the things I wanted to talk about, because I know you started Unscripted Victories, I think 2024, right?
Yeah, 2024. Yeah.
Yeah. And what happened to that actually? Because I feel like we always have this conversation every other time where I ask you, where are you taking it? Because
Mhm.
you have really great content, right? But Derick is stingy with his documentaries. Like, when was the last time you posted on Unscripted Victories?
We actually posted the last episode. Let me just confirm in a second.
It was
We
a while
actually
back.
posted not that while. It was on September 2025.
Imagine.
Yeah. So, oh, I have to answer this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just in the next 1 month or less, we're going to post a new full episode documentary video. We recorded it last year, and we're going to post it, I think, around March or April. We're going to drop a full episode. So, Unscripted Victories is there. We are working with so many athletes. We've recorded like 3 athletes. The only challenge is the editing part. It's a documentary. Even if we release it after 4 months, 5 months, the taste is still there. Even right now, Michael Jordan released a documentary from 1990 in 2021, 2022. So it's not like I'm doing Unscripted Victories is not like a short content page or organization where you just post like, hey, content is there, we are posting. No. Whenever we are going to post like the documentary, we are going to start like marketing it for like a month, and everything will be fresh in everyone's mind. So I'm not like in a hurry to post anything, but just know we recorded something, a documentary. We have everything in place, and it's much bigger than the previous one somehow. So we're going to release it in the next like 2 months, and we're going to market it as soon as everything is set. We're going to start marketing it from behind the scenes, reels. We have photos. We have everything in place. So it's not like we are we're not giving our audience like something out there. Everything is working out well, and we have like four episodes actually. But we're just going to give it time. We're not releasing everything at once. So even before the year ends, we might even be having like 3 episodes. That's like 3 characters out there.
But I think for documentary, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. I want us to talk about like how you plan on your sports content creation, especially for 2026, now that 2025 was a year that you experienced a lot of massive growth. Because most of the time when you explode on social media, it's usually just like, oh, okay, like that's really cool. Like, let's now, for some people, they change the course. For some people, they lose their taste, right? So, how do you plan, or like, what does 2026 look like for you in terms of sports, basketball, and just content creation in general?
Okay, so on my personal page, I want to do more of voiceovers during my videos POV because I had people like my audience or some of the people who advise me on my content and stuff. Someone actually called me and advised me like, "Hi Derek, we see your content." Like previously, I used to just post content with background music, and then these friends of mine were like, "Hi Derek, we love your content, but we want to see you more in the videos, like your voiceover, and they want to see me like talk." And I was like, "Wow, okay, I'll give it a try." And since I gave it a try, it has been working out for me. And for me to actually blow up on social media, it was because of this one video. I got more than, I think, 600 followers in one video. When during the Zone 5 championships, when I did a video with the Gambela tribe from Ethiopia.
Yes.
And this is because I was putting myself out there speaking on camera. And I feel like I'm going to do it more. And it's something I've actually been experimenting it, and it's working out for me. So I'm going to do more of voiceovers. Whenever I'm going to do, like, it's either working for GOA, Road to BAL, I'm going to post behind the scenes as a POV so that people can see, oh, this is Derek's point of view. This is what he does. This is how he moves. This is what he does. So I'm going to do that more. And also I'm going to be consistent on YouTube because that is where I'll post like a whole 10-minute video of behind the scenes, me waking up, me meeting these people, everything behind the scenes, like whatever people don't see now on social media, like on my short content platform videos, TikTok and Instagram. So I'm going to post it on YouTube. I'm going to be consistent. I have more than close to 20 videos that I've never posted on YouTube. I have
Wait,
them on my
are they
laptop as well.
edited?
No, I actually decided to just get someone who will be editing it for me. I just
But
schedule
I feel
like I
like we
want this
talked
and
about
that.
this. You said
Yeah,
you were
I actually
supposed to
have
learn
them.
how to edit.
Yes, that is actually something. Yeah, I'm actually coming to that. So I'm going to post to be consistent on YouTube, and I was planning to come up with a sports podcast this year
Period.
as content, but I'm not really sure about it, but I'm going to give it a try, maybe at some point. But I'm planning to start like a sports podcasts.
Unscripted Victories,
And
the podcast. Wow. You can call me, I'll be the host.
yeah, maybe. But it's just a plan. It's something I was planning, and someone reached me out again. And she's actually a girl who just finished high school. And she called me and saying like this has been a passion, and she has been seeing me like doing sports content and everything. She's very ready to like start sports content and podcasts, and she wants me to be like one of the person leading like the production, directing, and one of the hosts. So we talked briefly, but maybe soon we're going to have like another meeting and see where we stand. That is another thing I want to try. So yeah, I think those are some of the resolutions for my content for 2026, and also just post more documentaries for unscripted victories.
I think that's pretty cool. Um, Sports is an industry where it's so heavily untapped. Like when I say so untapped, I mean so untapped. Because even when I think of like the journalists that we have, like when you think of how big of an impact sports has, when Chan was here, literally by 8 o'clock, because I used to go to work, by 8 o'clock, the roads were closed. And I was like, if sports is such a big deal, why don't you guys treat it as such? And there's this lady, I love her so much. Her name is Cynthia Bombo. She used to play basketball. And one of the things she always says, and I've heard her say it a couple of times, is that sports has so much power. It's just that people don't think of it as a business.
Yeah.
And I want us to like briefly talk or touch on the business side of sports, because sports is like any source of talent, right? You could sing, you
Yeah.
could dance, or whatever it is. But then how do you change like sports being a talent into sports being something that you make an income out of? Because like something like content creation it applies or cuts across for everyone. I have to learn how to make content, which I do not like, because that's just how it works, right? And you have to
Yeah.
think of different ways to make it work for you and have the passion and patience, like you said. So when you think of sports and the business side of sports, how do you think you want to go about it, or people should go about it?
Actually, this is actually a great question because you see some of the top 10 richest people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You can't miss an athlete. We have like someone like Cristiano Ronaldo. He's worth billions of dollars. When you go to the NBA, these players earn billions, millions of dollars. And these are people who are playing the same sports as me, just a basketball player. And there's so many questions like why are we playing the same sport? I'm playing basketball, but I don't even have money to buy lunch. But if you go to a different continent, these people, they own so many things. Like this, one person is like an organization. Someone like LeBron James is not an athlete. He's an organization.
Mm-hmm.
His name has employed more than even you'll find 500 people.
Mm-hmm.
So on the business side, I feel like we should just be serious with some decisions we make. And a good example is a place like Rwanda. People complain, why is it like basketball is always taken to Rwanda? Why is the BAL always in Rwanda? Why not Kenya? Why not Uganda? On the business side, you can see, first of all, the arena Rwanda has. This arena is maintained super clean. I was there myself and I saw why. Rwanda is hosting the BAL and every games and every event, and we can't host the events in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
On the business side, these people know why they should maintain this facility, why security is important in this facility. And if you come to our own place, just a small event, we have Stampede. A small event, we have Stampede. And this is Kenyan people. Let me just use my own people, Kenyan people. And Rwanda hosts BAL games where we have so many international people. So many the GOA festival, we had 320 campers from 20 different countries. There was zero incident. Phone getting lost, I don't know, Stampede. We had live events, Uncle Waffles, Kiss Daniel,
Mm-hmm.
Ira Star. We've never had this kind of thing in Kenya. And the only thing we had in Kenya, we had Stampede. There's always something coming up.
Always.
Phone getting snatched. There's always something up. And in terms of business, this is not something someone will want to invest billions of dollars to have these kind of incidents,
Mm-hmm.
making their brand or their market, or just bringing loss. I don't know if you understand that.
Yeah.
So I feel like for us to become like, to make sports a business, we need to make so many right choices and decisions. And for example, let's say for example, like the NBA. The NBA has players who have like brands. They have Nike, Under Armour, Adidas. So many players are getting brands. But when you come to, let's say, for example, I just use my own people, like Kenya. You find we have a professional player, someone is really good, very talented, but the same person does not even know how to market himself or herself on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has 100 people on Instagram, private accounts, and the same person wants to be a business, wants brand to like reach him or her because he or she feels is a good player, is a great player. But how do they brand themselves?
Mm-hmm.
So even a brand is here. I bring my own brand like Unscripted Victories. I want to brand a player. Where will I get this player? Someone doesn't even have big following. Someone doesn't have any social media like awareness. And this is a great player. On the court, on the basketball court, this guy can score 40 points, 50 points. He's very good. But now when it comes to like the business side, someone doesn't know how to brand himself.
Mm-hmm.
Go to States. someone in high school already has like 1.2 million followers. So this guy knows his worth, his or her worth. He knows he can get brands, and he just knows like the business side at an early age. But when it comes to our own side, it's different. So I feel like these are some of the things that um, make our lives kind of hard. So first of all, as an athlete, you have to be aware like you're a basketball player, you're a brand yourself. How are you going to put yourself out there? Social media, from your game preparation, how do you want people to see you? I think that is where the difference comes. And if you see again in Rwanda, these players have started to know the worth of becoming a brand. And so many athletes have started like getting brand deals in Rwanda compared to Kenya. Basketball players compared to Kenya. And on the business side, I think we still have a long way to go because of some wrong decision you're making. But I still believe we can become better, and we can reach so much far. I believe we have that IQ, but I think it will take time, to be honest. So on the business side, there's so much income and money to be invested in players, organizations, teams, facilities through sports.
One of the things I like that you said is the branding essence. And I want to now touch on to the last segment, which is the 2026 pivot from impact to influence. And I've noticed that a lot of people get tired of feeling like they're being influenced. Most of the time, if I go to your page, one of the first things I see is Road to BAL, I see Goa, I see is it Dribble Dreams or something?
Yeah, dribble dreams.
Yeah. So you have a lot of receipts to show for even the conversation that we are having.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, what does success look like for you? And how has that changed from like 2025 to 2026?
For 2026, actually, I've not done like a lot. It's only like 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm actually on the second month. So
Yeah.
nothing much has changed. But from 2024 to 2026, I feel like I've actually been with people who have given me like so much advice and connected me to like people who have like put themselves as brands out there. And these are people who have like managers and stuff. They're very professional. And I think from being in that environment has taught me like a lot, like how to just be like, I won't say sensitive, but to be professional, be with whatever I'm posting out there. And I think according to me, I feel like I'm a brand, GOA brand, and whatever I post there, it's not like about pressure or anything, but I just have to be professional. And again, this is something I've actually been wanting to do. And I really want to show like other athletes how to brand themselves through social media. And I'm actually very happy. I've been getting people send me messages like, I like how your profile looks like. I want to do this and that. How will I do it? Help me with this and that. And I'm helping them. And this is actually the start. I don't know, but I feel like I want to be a start of or at the beginning of something for my own like athletes here in Kenya or outside the continent. It's only not about playing basketball. I'm an active player. I play basketball in the league. But when you come to my profile, you'll just feel like, no, this guy doesn't play basketball. He's a content creator, an influencer, blah, blah, blah. But I'm a basketball player. And that is what I want many other people, many other kids who are growing, seeing my page. I want to be like an influence to them so that they can be professional as well with their own social media accounts. Because I believe like social media has a big, very huge like impact. Someone like I should speed. That is a different conversation. And it's all because of this social media,
Yeah.
because of what he puts out there, because of the influence he has. And me being like a brand and having this following, it's not just about the following. I'm just looking like 10.5K followers on Instagram. just for my personal stuff. No, I know with this following, there's so many people following me who are looking up to me. So whatever I post and how I put my social media stuff has an impact to other people. So yeah, that's how I can answer your question.
That was a good one. I really like the fact that you touched on like proper the business side and the branding and just the power of social media. Now, on to the last question. But before that, a question to my audience. Do you feel like your work right now is leaving a footprint or just a thumbprint on the screen? And how are you going to make 2026 more tangible according to the conversation that we're having? So, the last segment that we have is lessons and advice. And I would like to ask, this is a question that we ask literally every guest. If you could go back in time and advise your younger self, what would you tell him?
Yeah, I'll actually tell young Derek to just be patient, stay focused, stay disciplined, and network as much as he can.
Do you feel like you are not doing that? I feel like you are already doing that.
Yeah, at my younger self, I feel like, because sometimes I usually think or imagine if I was having like my situation right now with the documentary, with the social media, with GOA when I was 21 or 22. That is what I usually imagine. And right now, I'm 28. Where will I be? Like 5 years ago, my situation right now, 5 years ago, like right now with everything, when I was like 21, I'm just trying to imagine the level I could be in the next like few years.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like when I was young, I was not like, I was very focused, I was disciplined, but I was very shy to like talk to people and network. I was just like on my own space. I just know what I want to do, but I wasn't like sharing. Not like now. If I have something in mind, I know the people to talk to and they advise me on this, and that. Even for UV, I had it in mind. I talked to someone because I was believing in him. I didn't know Slouch back then. But what if I knew Slouch? That is my cinematographer, videographer. Like when I was 21, 22, I just wonder what we could have done up to now. How many stories we could have captured? How many African athletes we could have spotlighted? How many content from Road to BAL and BAL we could have shared out there?
Mm-hmm.
So what I would tell my younger self is don't be shy and just network as much as you can.
I love that so much. Now, that is the real answer, actually. Do not be shy. I think there's a video I did where I said, closed mouths don't get fed.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to me as well because I'm a very mind your own business type of person, and that doesn't help. You know, like when it comes to money and the paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
people don't get paid for the amount of intellect they have. Because if you look at iShow's speed, there's nothing intellectual he's offering. Or
No,
like
nothing at all.
literally.
Just energy.
It's just energy and just aura. I think it's just aura, energy, and charisma. Like there's nothing educational there. But then I realized that people don't get paid because of how much intellect they have. You get paid because of how loud you are. You could be loud about nonsense, but you will still get paid. And I think a lot of people should learn that. And even when you talk of content creation and social media and stuff like that, even with basketball players, there's certain basketball players, because obviously my line of work involves me trying to really know as many people as I can. And you find that there are some people that you literally check their page and you're like, this is the player. And it goes back to the same thing that you're saying. Do not be shy. And you need to put yourself out there. And how do you put yourself out there? Be professional. This is your job. Yes, it's part of talent. And yes, it's cool. And yes, it's nice. And you started it because you're passionate, but check the reference because you have receipts and you can show people, if you do this, you get this. If you do this, you will end up here. And that's really great. So yeah, that has come to the serious part of the episode. Now we are almost done. The next segment is called Come On Now. Basically, come on now. What's one unnecessary thing we say, do, or C, that shouldn't exist in basketball?
And tricky.
You're not going to get cancelled. It's your opinion. It's a safe
Um,
space.
what's one thing that
It's unnecessary.
should,
It should
unnecessary
not exist.
should not exist in basketball and in content creation?
Yeah.
Laziness. Yeah, let me use that word. Laziness.
Why?
Yeah, because I feel like when someone is lazy towards something, I feel that is disrespectful first, and you drag other people behind.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that I think,
Laziness is disrespectful.
yeah, being disrespectful and just dragging other people behind. And I think this is because I've actually been working with so many people as a unit. That is in terms of content creation, basketball wise, in teams, in school, in group discussions. And every time when we have like someone who is lazy, we feel, me and my team, we usually feel it's disrespectful, or he or she is dragging other people behind. And I feel like if you have a group of 5 people who are working hard, no lazy person, you'll reach so far. But if you have 5 people, one person who is lazy, you have to try as much as you can to like make him or her be on the same page as everyone. But still, there's that lagging behind kidogo, like a little. So I'll just say like laziness, yeah.
That's a good one. I didn't think you'd say that. My come on now would be, can we stop the glorification of I'm so busy? Right? It's like being busy isn't a personality trait. There are some people that you call them, you're like, hey, how are you doing? I'm good. I'm busy. Like, how's everything? I'm busy. And it's just, what are you busy doing? Like, and it's
Making money.
no, like let's boil it down properly, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
being busy people make being busy like a personality so that you look like you're up to something all the time. And it's like, come on now, you're not doing anything. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like if you're just busy consistently and you're not moving the needle or it's not impactful, come on now. Stop doing that. But yeah, the last segment is Song of the Week, and this is where we share the song that we have been listening to recently, that we have been bopping to, and we enjoy. So, what is your song
Yeah.
of the
So
week?
this, hey, song of the week is Party by Uncle Waffles. On
You
repeat.
really love Uncle Waffles, hey? Yo,
Party. Party by Uncle Waffles on repeat. Yeah. That's song of the week.
let me find mine.
That's my song. Yeah, my song of the week. Party by Uncle Waffles.
Mine is pretty cool. Angels in Tibet by Amare. It's a hot song.
Oh, maybe I'll just listen to it, but I've not heard it yet.
It's a hot song. Yeah, it's a song that if you want to have a good day, just play it in the morning and shake bums and move on. Like, it's such a good song. I saw a TikTok where someone was saying your life is hard because you don't dance, like you don't shake bums. And I think they were onto something. I really do believe they were onto something. I feel like you're so lost when I say shaking bums because you're just like, how does this relate to me?
Yeah, I'm actually trying to think about it. I'm like, I don't know.
It just means that, like, let's say you go out, right? And there's people that are just sitting the whole time. Everyone is trying to be so cool about being outside these days, and it's so annoying. I don't like that because I'm one of those people that when you go out, I want to be on the dance floor. I want to be experiencing the whole gist. That's what I like. And you find that these days, either people are recording or people want to take content, and justice to them. But I just feel like, okay, at what point do you put the phone down in that now we are all dancing? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like, I don't know, man. We should bring back that culture. But yeah, we have come to the end of the episode. Thank you guys for tuning into the HR podcast. To my guest, thank you for the work you do with Giants of Africa and for reminding us that the game is bigger than the court. Tribers, if today's episode made you look at 2026's goals a little differently, drop a comment. Tell us what is the giant within you that you're finally letting out this year. If this episode brought you some clarity or just some good vibes, follow us and leave a review and share it with someone who's currently in the process or in the practice phase. To my guest, thank you so much for the work that you do and for just being vulnerable and honest about what it means to be a giant of Africa.
Thank you so much. I appreciate, and I hope someone somewhere learned something, one or two things. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. For the listeners, follow the journey on Instagram at the It Tribe. We are officially past 100 followers. We thank God for that. Bless, jobless. And to Derick, where would you like to be found?
On Instagram, Dwayne Derick or Derick Ochieng. On TikTok, Dwayne Derick or Derick Ochieng. On LinkedIn, Derick Ochieng. On YouTube, Dwayne Derick.
You're on LinkedIn.
Yes, for the
You
longest
post on
time.
LinkedIn.
Achievements.
Really? I'm actually going to stalk you tonight. This is news to me.
I've been on LinkedIn for quite some time now, maybe 2 years, close to 2 years, yeah.
I love that so much. This is news to me.
Yeah.
I like camping. I camp on people's LinkedIns because I'm like, let me see what they talk about. I think that's one of the
No, but
best.
I'm not like consistent. But yeah, I'm on LinkedIn as well.
I'm not even going to ask you what you talk about because that's another conversation. But yeah, guys, until next time, be kind to yourself, stay grounded, and keep choosing growth. Bye, guys.
Asante. Kiswahili English imeisha bana. I hope I record.
That was actually perfect.
English is done.